but 1993 Mercedes SEL 600 V12. Sweet car. In town visiting my parents, and I saw at the local pick-a-pull they have this car. I don't like pick-a-pull because the prices are kind of nuts, but some of the stuff is definitely going to be worth pulling. So let's go ahead and check it out. I love these things. I saw this was listed on their website yesterday. So before they closed, I came here to check out the car to see what it had, and then go back home and check things out on eBay. So not much in this interior that's different from a normal S-Class of this generation, the W140. I would be taking the dome light, but it's gone. I think I'm going to take these rear passenger vanity lights. Some of the stuff in the console looks like it might be good. Some of this wood trim, I think somebody's either been through this or whoever gave it to the yard had everything in pieces. So I got to sort through that. But I don't know if I'm going to take any of this stuff. It is cool when sitting in this car, like, to appreciate how over-engineered these interiors are compared to other cars. So it's really fun to take the stuff apart and see how well together it goes. And even like the plastic tabs and the vents are so much thicker than any other car that I've worked on. So I love these Mercedes interiors. Because this is the V12, it came standard with self-leveling suspension, which I found out about when I was Googling the car last night. So there might be some stuff in the suspension, like sensors, that are worth pulling, but I'm gonna have to go through and see later if I have energy for that. So this has like a fancy suspension system that's worth looking up. I know that it's gonna have the vacuum pumps in the back. I think this one has two big pumps. There's one of them right there tucked in with the foam insulation with all those vacuum tubes coming out. That's an early Bose amp that might be worth pulling, but I think when I looked it up, it wasn't. There's a fuel level sensor that sells used for like 200 to 300 bucks. So I'm hoping it's that right there. And I'm noticing looking at it that I don't have any way to get that. I don't have a wrench that big, but let's go to the engine bay. All right, the best part. Sweet engine, a lot of stuff is missing. The maths are gone. We want the throttle bodies. We want the intake boots if they're in good shape, even if they're used, because they don't make those anymore. We want to check out the engine harness. So these Mercedes had the biodegradable engine harness. So we want to see if that's been replaced in the car's lifespan, because if it has, it's worth pulling. DMEs, and this has drive-by-wire, so it's got a module for the gas system, the e-gas module. So if we find that, we want it. And then just in general, looking for valuable, I know the camshaft sensors, if they're in good shape, are worth pulling. There's a crossover tube in the valley of the V12 that if we can get to and is in good shape is worth pulling, because they don't make those anymore. And I saw them used for a couple hundred online. So lots of stuff here. I'm gonna start here in the actually no, I'm gonna go to the interior, pull some stuff when my hands are clean, then I'm gonna switch to the engine bay and start pulling stuff. All right, quick update. We've got rear vanities that I pulled out that look good. We've got this as a rear switch cover wood surround, and this is the driver's door switch with good quality wood, and then this is the vacuum pump from the trunk. It just sits in some foam, and you got to cut those wires and then disconnect the plug right there. But that's all I'm going to take from the interior. There's a lot of other stuff over here, but there's like little, blemishes and stuff. I only want to take the things that are in really good shape. So I'm going to grab the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 things. Well, I guess these count as one. And then move to the engine bay. I did check for the ABS sensors and stuff, but they're all cut on this car. So this would be, I see these sell for a couple $100 used when they're known working on eBay, but this one's cut, so that's a bummer. Gonna move on. All right, it looks like a lot of this stuff maybe was vandalized. I mean, because if you think about the ABS wires being cut, a lot of the stuff up here was cut, and it looks like it's more than just the typical somebody at the junkyard trying to get access to stuff, and because not much has been taken out. A lot of things are broken, frayed, damaged. But taking a second to appreciate the Mercedes engineers, right? First of all, look at this cover and this gasket that goes over this e-box, this electronic box. And then look at all these modules here. Get out of here. Look at that. Good job, Mercedes. I mean, we should be driving these cars still, not buying new ones. All right, I'm working on these throttle bodies. I got all the bolts out of that one, the last guy in the bottom right. It's 4, top left, bottom left, top right up there, and then bottom right down here, and they were a pain to get to. Let's see if I can get this guy out. Yeah, and this guy was just like wallowed out. I had to end up using a Torx bit instead of an Allen head. I used like a T30. Luckily, this is a Virginia car, not super rusty, and they came out. But then here's the one from that's the passenger side out. Got this guy out. And I see it's got a sticker on here. It says formercedes.com. It's been rebuilt sometime in its life. But thinking this was a vacuum hose instead of wiring, the idiot that I am, I went to cut it. So I damaged it. So we'll see how that goes. I'll deal with that later. But so far we're going. Throttle bodies, a bunch of stuff out of the e-box. Again, running out of battery. So I'll go over a lot of this when I'm back home. All right, throttle bodies off, doing the cam sensors. One-handed. Everything's coming apart really easily. I'm gonna be real gentle with them. Not stress the plastic too much. I need both hands for this. Okay, I was about to pull the fan out, and I started thinking about it. And good thing I went looking, because you can see there the fan blade is cracked. And I hope I didn't just do that, but I'm pretty sure I didn't. Looks like the belt in here is all chewed up. So I don't know what was going on with this car, but I mean, even sitting out here in the sun in May, it's a really enjoyable car to work on. So I can imagine one that's cleaned up and not covered in mold and mildew in a nice garage would be pretty enjoyable. I really think that I might have to go home and browse Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace and find maybe find one for sale. Cool, really cool cars. And then, I mean, I can just come over here and look at, this is like a 2015-ish BMW, and you can just tell the difference in quality in the materials. Like the valve covers all, I mean, not only is it plastic, but like the quality of the plastic is, and like all these hoses and everything. It's just so different from the quality of this. You know, the plastic in here is 20 years older, but feels a lot more solid. All these vacuum tubes and everything, how everything comes apart. Like this is I wish I would have taken a video of how these throttle bodies, how the harnesses clip in here, but everything is just like so well designed and thoughtful and intuitive. It's so much better than that stuff. I mean, I think in 20 years, there's gonna be none of those on the road. And in 20 years, there's still gonna be a bunch of Mercedes W140s. In the garage, unloading the car, and this is what we've got. I spent $392 at the yard. It was like twice as expensive as I thought it was gonna be. That's why I don't like pick and pull. I mean, this is really rare stuff. This is like, anyway, we'll go through prices first. Okay, all the DMEs, I do my own math. I kind of round everything up, and then I take the balance and divide it into stuff that's easy. So this is pretty close to what they actually charged me with core and like environmental fees and everything. But I do $34.40 for all the DMEs. I think this is like engine computer. This is the module for the active suspension, general module. This is the e-gas. And this has been, a lot of these components on this car have been worked on. Is this the e-gas? Yeah, this is the e-gas, sorry. So as you see right here, this one has been worked on by some kind of aftermarket service, and the e-gas, those are expensive. So this might pay for everything. Fingers crossed. Something else was worked on. This one was worked on. I forget what this is. This might be ABS module, I'm not sure. But when I was at the yard, I checked all these part numbers, and all of these were selling for more than 100 on eBay. So a lot of money, but I'm expecting to get some back. I grabbed this boot. These are, yeah, I never would have thought I would ever be taking used boots from the yard, but these were selling for 80 bucks or more. It did tear a little bit when I was pulling it off the car, but overall it's in good shape. These are cool. They have like a little band in the middle of them. They have a little metal band. I don't know if you can see that. I've never seen this in a boot before, but it's a little metal band that I'm guessing keeps it from compressing, which is super cool. So that was $879, $60 each for the throttle bodies. Also, they'd been worked on. This guy was free. That's like the bezel for the trim for the rear seats, vent switches. I got cam sensors, 20 bucks for both. The seat, I'm gonna sell this separately. I'm gonna separate the switch from the wood trim, but I bought it for 10. And then I got the two mirrors, 20 bucks for both. And then the vacuum pump that goes in the trunk. The other vacuum pump that goes in the back seat was gone. So this is what I got, $392, and I need to start cleaning things and putting them on eBay. What I was saying earlier is like, it's just nuts that it's 60 bucks for a throttle body. Like, these are rare, valuable, overcomplicated throttle bodies that make sense to buy for 60 bucks at the junkyard. But if you're working on some normal Chevy V8 and you break something and you've got to go to the junkyard and get a throttle body, you can probably get it cheaper on eBay. Like, so why would you go through the hassle of going and pulling one of these in the sun and potentially stripping fasteners or whatever and pulling your hair out and dealing with, knuckle draggers at the junkyard or whatever? Like, this just doesn't make sense. I'm amazed at how expensive these things are. Really makes you appreciate like a cheap junkyard, which are becoming more and more rare. Going through the parts and cleaning them before I'm listing them. And this is the boot, and I'm not going too crazy with the cleaning. I'm really not cleaning it at all. I just want to show, I ripped it when I was taking it apart, so I want to be able to show people an accurate idea of like what the actual condition is. So there's the boot, and then this is my photo taking area. So nothing super fancy. I'm not really set up, so I'm working out of an office with just a piece of wood on the ground. But it's getting dark in here, so you're not going to see like the actual condition of this piece. But this is one of the throttle bodies, and you can tell there's a lot of corrosion on the aluminum body. And I didn't clean the engine side that much, so it still has some like blowback, some oil from the blowback or blow-by. So working on listing these. Everything's up on eBay. It comes out to $28.82 of new listings. So $2,882 worth of $2,828 worth of new listings out of that $392 that I spent at the junkyard. Now again, I mentioned this earlier in the video that I was caught off guard by how expensive this junkyard was. Still worth it, I think, but I was really expecting to pay more like $200, $250 for those parts. But almost $3,000 in new listings on the eBay store for $392 is pretty good. I think I made a mistake on a few of those. Like, I was too confident in some of those modules that I pulled, thinking that it's a rare car with the rare suspension and therefore like the rare suspension components, so they'd be worth pulling. And when I was putting up the listings, I saw a lot of active listings for basically what I paid in the junkyard. So I bought those for $34, and I saw a lot of active listings for like the suspension module and the ABS module for like $50, which after eBay fees and shipping is $35. So I made a mistake there, probably spent $90 or $120 that was a waste, but I still feel like overall there's a very good chance that within 3 to 6 months we will at least break even and very likely make a good amount of money. So when these items sell, I'll upload some shorts to communicate to you guys that are subscribed. And then once we get like 5 or 6 items sold, or if it's been 6 months and nothing is sold, and I have to come in and say like, wow, I made a huge mistake, I wasted $400 and sold nothing, I'll make a follow-on video to this car. But I had a lot of fun working on it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks.